NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
First film that I saw in a theatre is a film called Joshila, I think with Dev Sahab in it. I was taken there because I got 10 on 10 in Hindi, and there's some bombing, and I still remember it, on a wheelchair, the bad guy. But I remember we used to have what is known as a radiogram. It used to be a big radio, and Akashvani aata tha uske upar, and Shami Kapoor's song, I think, I don't know if it's Mr. Shami Kapoor's or not, but a song used to come, chakke pe chakka, chakke pe gaadi, gaadi pe nikli apni savari, thode gaadi, thode khiladi, something like that. And I used to dance to that song. And my parents used to come back home, they both were working, and they would put on this radio, and at 9 o'clock after Inspector Eagle and Hawa Mahal, there was this song ka bit, and I used to dance to that. And at that point of time, my mothers are like that, she would turn around and say, "Bada hoke na ye Dilip Kumar banega." But I wanted to be Babu. You know, Chain Kuli ki, Main Kuli ki, Chain. Satya I wanted to, because I loved the Babu character, you know, light eyes, and Amit used to come out, and I used to put powder in my hair, because he had greyish hair, and I used to do my eyes up. And let me tell you a secret, those eyes I still use in Khan. So I used to put my eyes up, and I don't know where, somehow I got lenses. Lenses were new, it was very difficult to put them in, and I remember I did a school play as Babu. But I used to love when he used to come out, you know, Chain Kuli ki, Main Kuli ki, Chain. So I love that. That's the first time I wanted to be anyone from the screen, yes. And then I remember some years later, many years later, when I was, I think, 15, 16, I used to play a lot of sports, and then I got hurt. I took to theatre. I did a musical with Barry John, Annie Get Your Gun, small bit, part I had. I was just a dancer in the play, and my mother showed me to some kind of filmmaker, actually even Mr. Tahir Hussain, you know, they would come to Delhi for, they knew my mom, and there was another filmmaker who had a video camera, you know, we'd never seen a video camera, and she showed it, said, "See, my son can be an actor or not." And he saw the video, and he says, "He's not good looking, he's not photogenic, and he can never be a movie star auntie." He used to call her auntie, he was a young boy, I won't name him. But he said he'll never be a movie star. Small little house we were living in, and I felt my mother was very disappointed because she thought I was Dilip Kumar and Bishwajit combined. Me and my mother were film buffs, especially when the VCR came out, and maybe I'll be lynched for this, but we saw a lot of pirated prints at that point of time. You know, any movie that used to come out, I used to press her feet. She had diabetes and a lot of problem in her feet, so I would press them. My sister would sit on one side, our father had died. And it was an evening where on a Videocon television. That's why I have this great affinity to Videocon. That's why I do their work. We used to sit down, and we used to have a VCR, and we used to sit down and watch movies. On our VCR, in our home theatre, I think Jani Vido Yaro was number 1, Parvaresh. And then, when I was giving my last few, I was giving my, I think, final third year exams, I even remember the exam, National Income Accounting. It used to be very hot in Delhi. We didn't have any air conditioners, so you used to put water on the floor and sit in the middle and put the fan on so you felt cool. And I remember my mom always used to say, "Abhi break lo, picture dekho." So I saw Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. And that was kind of the last few films I've seen before I decided, yeah, I'm going to be a movie star. I used to do plays and serials. And then I got a call from Hemaji. And I wouldn't believe, so many times I put the phone down, I thought it's a girl who's troubling me, you know, she said, "This is Hema Malini wanting to speak to you." She used to have I think a niece called Prabha, if I'm not mistaken, and she would call that Hema Malini wants to speak to you. I said, "Ah, shut up," and I used to put it down. And then finally she did speak to me, and I was like, she said, "I want you to do a film." Then there was Mr. Ismail Shroff who wanted me to do a film called Police Public. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do films, I was scared of films. And then I came down, and it's a wrong thing to say, but I was brought up a little more Western, Casey Kasem and Nikes and Family Ties, Bill Cosby. You know, that's the kind of upbringing I had with my friends, the kind of music I listened to. So I just felt Hindi films are a little not with it. And so I did English theatre instead. And but I came to Mumbai and made friends with Aziz Mirza. And then I met Vivek Vaswani. Actually, the person who's responsible is Vivek Vaswani. He forced me to, he said, see, all these people have called you, let's go and meet them. Don't do the films, just meet them. So I'm like, okay. He met me at night in a restaurant, in a coffee shop. And 11 o'clock he came to the office and he said, wake up, we have to go meet everyone. So I went to meet Hemaji. I went to meet Mr. G.P. Sippy. I went to meet Rajiv Mehra and Mr. F.C. Mehra. And I went to meet Mr. Rakesh Roshan. And it wasn't even meet. He would take me to a party where Mr. Rakesh Roshan was and he said, aap keh rahe the na King Uncle mein aapko chahiye. He'll do it. So I was like, listen, one afternoon I signed all those films. I just drove from Juhu to town, signed those 4 films. I remember the date I shot the first time. I shot with, I went to work with Hemaji and she told me, I want to cast you in the film because you're very aristocratic. Your nose is very aristocratic. So I'm like, oh, Hema Malini is telling me and my nose is aristocratic. Dharmendra Saab met me and he gave me a hug and he said, anyone gives you any trouble in Mumbai, tell me. I don't know, I think they're right because I think the day I came to Mumbai, I became part of the Bollywood family. I mean, everybody treated me like that. I think Hemaji, Aziz, G.P. Sippy Saab, all of them, I really felt, they were so nice to me. I wish, now that I'm talking about it, I'm getting emotional. I wish I can just go and spend time with them. And, just say thank you to them once again. I'm really touched by it while talking about it. Seeing the everyday run of wanting to be a superstar, I've forgotten all this. 26 June 1991, yeah. I shot Hemaji's film. There's a bungalow on Yari Road, which used to be very popular. I forget the name of the bungalow. And I did a scene around a pillar where, okay, I'll say it. I'm sure she won't mind it. I love her too much. I respect her too much. So Divya Bharti was acting. And I'm supposed to come and say a scene next to this little pillar and look it into the moon. I don't remember the lines, but the lines were something to the effect that Zindagi mein bahut pareshaniyan aati hain, whatever the character's name was. और लेकिन मैं जिंदगी भर तुम्हारे साथ रहूंगा, मैं तुमसे बहुत प्यार करता हूँ. लैला मैं तुमसे प्यार करता हूँ. और हर कदम कदम पे तुम्हारा साथ दूंगा. जो तुम्हारा decision, I'll stay with it. So I walk in front of the pillar. I do it once, twice. She says, I'll show you. And it's the greatest vision of my life. Hema Malini said my lines. And she came, कि मैं हमेशा तुम्हारे पास रहूंगा, कदम कदम बढ़ा के. And then she looked beautifully into the moon. And I, as an actor, found it completely different from what I would do. I'm like, this Hema Malini. And I looked at her, but I loved it. And I told her, I remember, that Hemaji, it's not what I can do. You can do, but you can do anything and it'll look nice because you're the most beautiful woman in the world. And I'll try to be like this. And I tried, and she laughed and she okayed it.